guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about makeup brushes. Now, I made a beginner's makeup kit video and a lot of you left comments under that video saying that you guys would like to see a beginner's brush kit video or an in-depth video on brushes. So I decided to make an entire video about all of my favorite brushes from PAC. PAC brushes are affordable, they're high quality and they're easily available all across India on Amazon. This video is intended to help those of you who are beginners as well as those of you who are professional makeup artists, because I feel like everybody can take away something from this video. You may find use for all of these brushes in your collection, especially if you're a beginner. You're gonna get a lot of information in this video. I'm gonna be sharing all of my favorite brushes from PAC and all of the brushes are over here right now. PAC has some amazing brushes. They're extremely high quality, they're extremely easily available, and the most important fact being that they're affordable, so they're accessible to all of you. So that's why I wanted to create this video with PAC brushes, but this video is not sponsored. I'm doing this video because I believe in these brushes, I love these brushes, and even when a video is sponsored, I only ever work with brands that I truly love, products that I have experienced or brands that excite me and intrigue me. I only work with brands whose ideologies I agree with. You'll be surprised at how many opportunities I let down because I don't believe in them. I don't believe in certain principles, I don't believe in certain ideologies, so I don't work with certain people and certain brands because I don't believe in them. I only work with brands and I only work with people whose products and services I truly believe in. So that's why I am going to be sharing all of these brushes with you, and I'm going to go in order of how I apply my makeup on my face so I don't forget any of the brushes. So the first thing you want to do is apply your foundation. Now I have 3 different types of brushes for foundation depending upon how you apply your foundation and which kind of foundation you're applying. So if you're a makeup artist, you're going to like this brush. This is the PAC 307. It is a flat foundation brush, great for just applying the foundation onto your face. This kind of brush is really nice if you're looking for high coverage and you're not looking to buff the product into your skin so it disappears away. This is the kind of brush that you would use on your face to just apply your foundation, so you don't minimize the coverage but you also get a nice even layer of foundation on your face. This kind of brush is also really useful if you want to apply a face mask. I always apply my face masks with a flat foundation brush like this. So that is the first brush that I have for you. The next brush is a very nice flat top buffing brush. This is the brush number 237. This is what it looks like. It's a flat top dense brush, but it does have a little bit of a movement and it is very soft. So great for those of you who are looking to get sheer to medium coverage out of your foundation. You'll take your foundation on the back of your hand on any palette or just apply it onto your face and then really buff it into your skin using circular motions with this brush. What this brush is going to do is that it's going to buff the foundation into your skin. It will not just sit on top of your skin, but it'll be one with the skin. This kind of brush makes your foundation look extremely natural and also really buffed in, and you can get a medium to sheer coverage from your foundation with this brush. I really love it. It's a really nice soft brush. This is one of my go-to foundation brushes. The next brush is for those of you who are not looking to waste any time in applying your foundation. If you're someone who's in a hurry and you just want to apply your foundation onto your face in 30 seconds flat, this is the brush for you. This is from their Master Stroke collection. They also have a bigger version, they have a smaller version as well. The bigger one is called 01, the smaller one is called 03. This is my favorite size. This is called 02. I find this to be the perfect size to just apply my foundation onto my face in like 3 or 4 strokes and you're done in like 20 to 30 seconds flat. So I really love this brush for that. Again, this is a very dense brush. It's gonna buff your foundation in. You can get a sheer to medium coverage from your foundation with this brush. This is what it looks like. It's shaped like a toothbrush, but it's a very nice, soft, smooth brush. The next thing you want to apply is concealer. Now for concealer, I have 2 products. I personally am the kind of person who likes to apply concealer with a makeup sponge. Because a makeup sponge is a wet product and it is a sponge, it absorbs most of the product and leaves a very beautiful natural finish on the skin. Concealers are much more pigmented than foundations, so when you use a sponge and when it picks up excess product, it makes the skin look really nice and beautiful and natural without making it look cakey. A sponge is also something that you can use with foundations. With extremely full coverage foundations, I would suggest you use a sponge. So for that, I love the PAC 2D blender. PAC has some amazing sponges, lots of different types of sponges. All of their beauty blenders are really nice. They also have really small beauty blenders for concealers if that's what you want. But this is the 2D blender. You can see it has a flat side and the rest of it is egg-shaped. Really nice for applying your foundation or for applying your concealer. If you want to apply your concealer with a brush, then I recommend this one. This is the PAC 218. This is what it looks like. So if I compare it with the foundation brush, you can see the foundation brush is really big and fat, whereas the concealer brush is much smaller. But this concealer brush is really nice. It is dense, but it is still fluffy and it gives you a lot of give to blend your concealer. Sometimes when I don't want to apply a foundation and when I only want to apply a concealer and powder, I will just apply my concealer with this brush and I'll just blend it wherever I want, and then I will just apply my powder and that will be it. This brush is great for concealer. I also love how the PAC brushes feel very sturdy and they feel thick and really easy to use, and I love that they have kind of like a grip and they don't feel cheap at all. So I really love this brush. This is definitely my favorite concealer brush. You can also contour with this brush if you want because of its small size. Then we're going to move on to powder, and for powder my favorite brush from PAC is this one. This is the PAC 335, and see how long this brush is. I love that. This is what it looks like, and if you see the bristles, you'll see how much give they have. It is so flexible, so soft. It feels like heaven on the skin. It is so soft. I love this brush for powder. This is like a multitask brush. If you want one brush that's going to apply your bronzer, your powder, your blush, I highly recommend this one. It is just so soft and it is slightly tapered on the sides, so really nice to apply your bronzer. I personally use this brush for powder and for blush, but I definitely would use this for bronzer as well. I definitely use this brush for bronzer on my forehead, but for my cheekbones I have a separate brush to show you guys. But if you want a multitask brush that's going to do everything, it's going to apply your powder, your blush, your bronzer, this is your brush and you're not going to be disappointed. It is so soft. Then for bronzer, I love this one. This is the PAC 264 brush, and if you see, this is what it looks like. Please excuse the fact that it's dirty. It's because I used it for bronzer today, but this is what it looks like. You can see it's slightly tapered on the side and it also tapers to a point on top, as you can see, and that is what makes this brush so amazing for contouring. The fact that it is still so fat from the front, but since it has a point, the rest of the bristles act as a blending portion of the brush. So when you apply your contour with this brush, you're applying it in a very designated space with this point. You're gonna pick your bronzer up with this point, right? So when you apply it under your cheekbones, you're gonna apply it in that specific area while the rest of the bristles on the sides are blending the product as you go. It just gives such a beautiful finish under your cheekbones. If you're someone who finds it hard to contour your cheekbones, and if you're looking for a brush that's gonna make the job much easier for you, I highly recommend this brush. Great for newbies for contouring, great for makeup artists to use on clients, because this brush is gonna minimize your effort by half because it's gonna blend as you go. So I love this brush. Now for highlighter, I do have really fun brushes for you. This is the one that you may have seen on my channel so many times. I use this brush in almost every single tutorial. This is the PAC 045. This is a fan brush. I love how soft it is, and it's just so easy to apply your highlight with this brush. This is the brush that I used to apply my highlight today. It's just amazing to pack on the highlight and also to apply it in a nice sheer kind of way. So that is my highlighting brush. But if you're looking for something fancy, they also have a really beautiful fan brush. This is the PAC 243. It is a gigantic fan brush, as you can see. Super dense, great for powder, great for contouring under your cheekbones, also nice to apply your highlight. So those are all of the face brushes from PAC, and now I'm going to move on to more detailed and eye brushes. I do have a bunch of brushes to talk about, but the first brushes I'm going to talk about are eyebrow brushes. This is the brow brush. This is the PAC 100 brush. It is angled on top, as you can see, and then it also has a spoolie on the other side. So this is a great brush because it's dual-ended and you don't need a separate spoolie because it comes with it. This brush is a little bit stiff, which is actually good for the eyebrows because you don't want a very soft brush on your eyebrow that's gonna leave the product everywhere else. I like the fact that this brush is a little bit harder than the rest of the brushes because that means that you're gonna get a very defined and a very controlled application, and you want that when it comes to your eyebrows. So you can dip this brush into your eyebrow product, whatever you're using, pomades, powders, anything that you're using. You just dip it into the product and you're just gonna define your eyebrows with this brush and blend as you go with this spoolie on the back. Really nice brush for your eyebrows. If you're like me and you use two brushes for your eyebrows, then you'll like this one. I'm the kind of person who likes a finer brush to apply my pomade and then a thicker brush to apply my powder. So I would use this brush to apply my powder, but to apply my pomade, I prefer a finer brush so I get more defined lines. This is the PAC brush number 222. This is what it looks like. It's angled and it's very fine on top. This is the kind of brush that you would use to apply a gel liner because it's very fine, it is angled. You can easily apply a winged liner with this brush, and also something that you can use for your eyebrows. So this is like a multitask brush. This is actually much softer than the previous brow brush that I showed you. You can definitely just use this brush for your eyebrows as well. Now I'm going to talk about eyeshadow blending brushes, and honestly eyeshadow blending brushes are my favorite makeup brushes. I just love eyeshadow blending brushes. They make me feel so good. I just love looking at them, and even looking at them makes me feel so good. I love collecting them. They're definitely my favorite brushes when it comes to makeup brushes. So I do have 6 that I want to talk about. All of them have different purposes. Don't feel like you need all 6, but all of them do have different purposes, and I'll tell you the purpose for each one. The first brush is the PAC brush number 041. This is what it looks like. It's a totally circular brush. It's not tapered at all. It's just a totally circular kind of brush, and it's very dense. This is the kind of brush that you would use to apply your product in the crease. I wouldn't recommend this brush to blend away the product because this brush is dense and it doesn't have a lot of give. This is the kind of brush that I would use to apply my transition color, my first color, or even if I'm using a dark color and I want to keep it in one designated place. That is why I would use this brush. I would apply my crease color with this. The next brush that I would use for a similar purpose is this one. This is the brush number 204. This is what it looks like. This is one of my favorite blending brushes from PAC. I love this brush to apply my crease color, to apply my transition color, but this brush has a little more, I don't know if you can tell on camera, this brush has a little more give than the previous brush, so this brush blends as you go. So this is a really nice brush when you want to apply your light brown transition color, whatever color you're using for your transition. This brush will blend a little bit more than the previous one, but I love this brush. This is one of my favorite blending brushes from PAC. I use this brush to apply my product in the crease and also to blend it in circular motions as I go. One of my absolute favorite brushes. The next brush is for those of you who are professionals or for someone who's just looking to expand their makeup kit and just introduce new brushes in your collection. Brushes that are going to serve different purposes. This is the brush number 391. This is what it looks like. It's not going to blend away your product. It's going to keep the product where you apply it. The previous brush that I showed you, this is what the previous brush looks like. You can see it has a lot of give. This one does not. It is pretty stiff. So if you're looking to blend, this is your brush, the previous one that I talked about. But if you're looking for a brush that's going to give you a very defined application, this is your brush. Great for cut crease makeup looks because it's not going to blend away the product. It's only going to keep it where you apply your product. Great to use with darker colors because especially when you're using darker colors, you don't want them to go all over the place. You want to keep them in the specific area where you apply them in your crease, and then you want to take a separate brush and blend them. But when you apply a darker color, you want to keep it in that specific area. If you apply your darker color with something like this, a brush like this, it's gonna go everywhere. But with a brush like this is gonna keep the product where you apply it. So I definitely like this brush for cut crease makeup looks and also for extremely smoky makeup looks, and also when I'm using really dark shades and when I'm scared to have them all over the place. This is the brush that I use. This is the brush number 391. Now for my favorite blending brush, this is the brush number 028. You can see this is what it looks like. It's super fluffy, It's the fluffiest brush out of all of the blending brushes that I showed you. So if I compare it to the previous blending brush, you can see it's super fluffy. It's a lot wider than this one as well, and it also has a lot of give. So this is the kind of brush that you would use to blend everything together, to make sure there are no harsh lines after you've applied all of the shades, and especially if you want to make sure that you blend everything to perfection, I would highly recommend this brush. I definitely recommend getting this brush, because this is the brush that will take your makeup from beginner to professional, because this is the kind of brush that will blend everything. It'll just make your shadow look like a puff of smoke instead of making it look like, you know, this is where your shadow starts and this is where it ends, because harsh lines are something that you want to totally avoid when it comes to good eyeshadow. So I highly recommend this brush. The last crease brush that I want to talk to you guys about is this one. This is the brush number 042. This is what it looks like. It's much smaller than all of the previous brushes that I showed you, but this is important because you need a brush that's going to apply a product in your outer V. I love this brush for that purpose. You can use a brush like this for that purpose as well, but why I love this brush is because it's so small. It really keeps the product where you apply it, and it's a perfect product for application of product in your outer corner and in your crease. You could definitely do what you want to do with this brush with this one as well, the pack 391, but I'm extra. I love having different brushes for different purposes, and these brushes are really inexpensive. So if you want different brushes for different purposes, I highly recommend keeping separate brushes. It just makes your makeup application a lot cleaner and a lot more professional when you have separate brushes designated for separate things. Like, you always want to go in with a clean blending brush. So I always recommend that when you're using a brush like this, to finally blend everything and to make sure there are no harsh lines, don't apply any color on this brush. Keep this brush clean, because this is your blending brush and this is your brush that's going to remove any harsh lines. So you want to make sure there's no color on this brush. You want to keep this brush clean, so whenever you're going to blend your eyeshadow, you don't have any product on this brush, and it's just going to remove any harsh lines and blend everything into perfection. So that's why I recommend so many brushes for different purposes. Coming back to this brush, I love it for outer corner action, and that is what this brush is for. Now we're going to move on to eyeshadow packing brushes and flat brushes, which you can apply your eyeshadow with, and you can pack your eyeshadow and pack the pigment onto your eyelid, since you cannot do that with blending brushes like that because you need flat brushes. But before we move on to the flat brushes, I want to talk about this brush. This is like a bonus brush, the 033. I'm going to call it a bonus brush because it looks like this, but you can see it's kind of tapered on the side. It's pinched on one side. This is a very multitasking brush. This is the kind of brush that you can use to apply your eyeshadow, and then you can also just put it on its side and blend your eyeshadow as well. So I really like this brush. I highly recommend it for its multitasking purpose that it has. You can definitely apply your eyeshadow as well as blend it with this brush. So I thought I'd just mention it in this video as well. Now for my first flat brush, this is the pack 374. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's super flat. It is very pinched on its side and it has short bristles, so it doesn't have a lot of give. This is the kind of brush that you would use to pick up your eyeshadow and then apply it onto your lid. You don't blend with brushes like this. You only use these kind of brushes to apply product onto your lid. You can also use these kind of brushes for concealer, to apply primer onto your eyelid or under your brow bone. Again, don't feel limited. Just know that makeup has creative freedom. You can use whatever for whatever purpose you want. Anyway, so this is the first flat brush. As I said, this is the 374 brush, and a great brush to pack your eyeshadow onto your lid. Another brush that I love for that purpose is the pack 091. It is a little bit smaller than the previous one. I personally love this brush to apply highlight under my brow bone and to apply my brow bone color. So you can also use this brush for your eyeshadow application as well. It is a little bit smaller than the previous one. I really like it. It's a little bit softer than the previous one as well, and it has a little bit more give. That's why I like it to apply product under my brow bone and to apply my brow bone highlight. I also love how the handle of this brush is super thick, so it doesn't feel cheap at all. It still feels sturdy. Even though it's a very small brush, it feels very sturdy and high quality. Then I have two pencil brushes. The first pencil brush is pack 106. This is one of my all-time favorite pencil brushes. I love this brush so much. This is the brush that I use to smudge kajal on my lower lash line or smudge shadow on my top lash line. This is just a great smudger brush. It is stiff, but it is also soft at the same time. It is not scratchy at all. This is the kind of brush that I would recommend to smudge your kajal or to apply shadow on your lower lash line when you want to take it a little bit lower, and when you want a smoky lower lash line, this is your go-to brush. I love it so much. Another brush with a similar purpose is this one. This is the brush number 202, much smaller than the previous pencil brush. So if I compare both of these brushes, you can see the left one is a lot smaller than the right one, and you can actually use both of these brushes for similar purposes. What I love using the smaller one is for smudging my lower lash line, of course, but also to apply my inner corner highlight and highlighting various small spots on the face. I can definitely use this brush to smudge product on my lower lash line, and I have used this for that today, which is why it is black on the top, because I used it to smudge my kajal. So if you could only get one brush out of both of these, I would recommend the smaller one, because again, you could smudge your lower lash line with this, you could apply product on your lower lash line with this as well, you can smudge your top lash line as well, you can apply highlight in smaller areas of your face. I really like this brush, and you'd be surprised that small detailed brushes like this are actually more important and they're harder to find. So I really love this brush. The last brush is actually a fine liner brush. This is the 044 brush, and it looks like that. I use this brush for my liner, for gel liner, but you could also use this brush again to apply highlight in smaller areas of your face, like your inner corner or on the bridge of your nose, on your cupid's bow. But again, this is a small detailed brush that you can use for your liner, for highlight, or for different purposes. So those are all of the brushes that I wanted to talk about. Just remember that when you get new brushes, I highly recommend you to wash your brushes before you use them for the first time, because if they have to shed, they'll shed a little bit when you wash them for the first time, and then your brushes will be nice and soft to use. These brushes don't shed on me except the 1 or 2 hairs that come off when you're washing a brush, and that honestly happens on my high-end brushes as well. Just remember that good makeup brushes will actually take you a long way in your makeup application. It changes your makeup from beginner to professional if you're using high quality makeup brushes that deliver perfect results. And also, good makeup brushes are an investment, because brushes like these actually get better with use, because I have noticed that when I use my brushes a lot and when I'm washing them frequently and using them on my face, they get softer, they feel like they've molded to my face, and they just feel better. So good makeup brushes will definitely last you years depending upon how good you take care of them, how you store them. Make sure you take care of your brushes, since they are an investment, and if you are investing in your brushes, just remember that it is good investment and it's gonna last years, and it is gonna make a huge change in your makeup application. So I hope this video helped you guys and you learned something new. If you do get any of the brushes that I mentioned, please let me know which ones you got and which ones are your favorite from pack brushes. If you have tried any of the brushes, please let me know which ones you love. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future fun videos like this. You can also click the little bell next to the subscribe button so you're personally notified whenever I post a new video. I always update my social media accounts with whatever's happening, so please make sure you follow me on my socials. All of that is going to be linked in the description box below. I hope you've already given this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you super soon in my next one.